What's going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. I just finished up streaming a couple of raids. We did a couple of raids with viewers over on the Planet Destiny Twitch page, and I had a really good time. The chat was really active, but one of the questions I saw come up the most was, are you guys going to be streaming the hard mode raid tomorrow? So if you don't know, the hard mode raid is actually releasing tomorrow. I think it comes out at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time. So if you're looking forward to hard mode, it is tomorrow. That is really exciting. And yes, the Planet Destiny stream team will be streaming the hard mode, and we'll be going for a world's first, just like we did with the normal mode. Now, we had a blast doing normal mode. We had an absolutely great time. Our team was really strong. We had a lot of fun doing it. We definitely got gear checked while we were at Oryx, but overall, it was a super positive experience. In fact, one of my favorite things to do in Destiny is when a new raid comes out is to jump into it blind, not knowing about any of the mechanics, just experiencing them, figuring them out with your teammates. It's a really great way to kind of experience a raid for the first time, and it creates amazing memories. You know, just like sometimes you might feel like you're banging your head against the wall, but you're doing it with 5 other people who are all having the same experience. I think it bonds a team together, or it could drive them apart, I suppose, if they're not compatible. But it was an excellent time. I'm looking forward to doing it with the stream team again. Last time we had Tefty, we had Patrick, and myself. I think we got Pope Bear coming in this time, but I'm not positive about that. I'll actually have to check with him during the podcast tonight. But I'm really looking forward to that. We will be streaming the hard mode raid on the Planet Destiny Twitch page tomorrow, basically as soon as it comes out until we finish it. So anybody who's asking about that, that's happening. Next, a lot of people were also asking, hey, what do you think's going to be in the hard mode? What do you think those changes are going to be? And I'm gonna cop out on this answer. I actually did a video, I remember way back when Crota's End hard mode was about to come out, and I made a video kind of, here are my expectations. Here's what I think they're going to do for hard mode. And I based those off of the changes that went from the normal mode of Vault of Glass to the hard mode of Vault of Glass. But this raid was designed a little bit differently. The hard mode was actually designed first with King's Fall, and they took stuff out to make it easier for normal mode. So with that being the case, I don't feel like I have a whole lot of experience to draw on to think, you know, this is what they're going to do for the hard mode. I definitely think there's going to be more enemies. I think the survivability is going to be a little more difficult. I think there'll be more heroic enemies, but, you know, that's obvious stuff. As far as mechanics go, how are they going to change Golgoroth? How are they going to change that fight? You know, I don't know. I really don't. How are they going to change the Death Singer fight? I don't know. I know they're going to be more complex. That's all I know. I know that when we go into it, we're going to have to figure this stuff out, and once we do, it'll probably become routine. So I highly recommend going into it the first time without the knowledge of everybody else. But, you know, some people enjoy that and some people don't. I know a lot of people, they don't even want to touch a raid until they know the mechanics because it's just too frustrating. And frankly, I can actually respect that. You know, when I go to build something around the house, like if I want to build a desk for myself, I don't just jump in. I don't buy a bunch of wood and jump in. You know, I research it, I learn how to do it, and then I do it. With raiding, it's, you know, it's a little bit different because it's, you know, it's supposed to be a puzzle, and, you know, but I understand the feeling that it's frustrating to try and figure it out. Like when you're going through it, it's much easier to just know what the mechanics are. So, you know, to each their own. I like to do it my way. You might like to do it your way. I'm really looking forward to it, though, so definitely stop by the Twitch page tomorrow. I also want to talk a little bit about Shard It or Keep It, because that one keeps coming up as well. A lot of people are asking where Shard It or Keep It. There wasn't an episode this week. It's not gone. It's not even on hiatus. It was just that I was super busy this week. Shard It or Keep It is one of those videos that just takes a little more effort than the rest of them. It takes a little more time, and frankly, I like to have a really good idea for what to do it on. You know, have an idea how to make that video interesting. Frankly, I treat that series with a little more respect than I treat, you know, some of my other videos. Something like what I'm doing today, where I'm just kind of shooting off the cuff, sharing my feelings. Shard It or Keep It is a scripted video. You know, I try and put a lot of production into it. I try and make it as slick as I can. But I also try and have like a really good idea on what is the conflict about sharding or keeping this gun. And, you know, sometimes I get suggestions for weapons that I just can't think of a reason why I would shard it. Like, a lot of times people would suggest the Gallahorn during year 1 for shard it or keep it. And, you know, why would you ever shard that, right? It's like, what purpose would you have for sharding it? So how could I ever argue, yes, you should shard this because of this, this, and that reason? It never made any sense to me, and that's kind of one of the things is, you know, I like to have that conflict. I like there to be a decision, and then I also like to have your input, and I like it. My favorite episodes are when the thing is right down to the wire. Like, let's say there's 501 votes for shard it and 502 votes for keep it. That's like the best outcome because that means I made a good argument for both sides, or the weapon has a good argument on both sides of the coin. And, you know, it was interesting and somewhat controversial. I like that. When it's a total blowout, I feel like I kind of missed the boat on that weapon. Something like the Chaperone, I think it was a landslide vote. I thought it'd be much closer, but in actuality, you guys were like, you know, you got to keep that weapon. You know, it's an exotic, it's one of a kind, it's a year 2 weapon. There's no shard in that weapon. So it, you know, it ended up not being that interesting of an episode in my eyes. I mean, and probably everybody sees a little bit differently out of that show than what I do, but you know, as the creator, that's what I'm going for, is I'm looking to make it as interesting as possible in each episode. I want there to be a lot of arguments for keeping it, a lot of arguments for sharding it, and I want there to be some controversy in the decision itself. I want there to be some kind of a pain, either if I do have to shard it or if I do have to keep it. You know, either way, I want there to be a pain to it. I want there to be some kind of a give and take relationship to it. So the series isn't going anywhere. Actually, I have a really good idea for it now. Now it's going to be really about getting footage for that video at this point. Actually writing the script, but I would suspect it'll be out early next week. It usually takes me a few days to kind of put that video together, whether it comes to the script or to the footage itself. And with the hard mode coming out tomorrow, that's really what I'm going to be focused on tomorrow. And I am doing some photography over the weekend, so I don't know if I'll be able to work on it too much during the weekend. So it'll probably be early next week. So one last thing before I get going, I wanted to talk a little bit about tonight's Planet Destiny podcast. So as I'm recording this, of course, it is Thursday night. In about an hour and a half, I'll be actually getting onto the Planet Destiny podcast. We'll start recording the Planet Destiny podcast. And that will probably come out on Friday. Normally it comes out on Fridays. It takes a little while to edit. For the YouTube version of it, we got to actually add some video to it. And then it takes a long time to render and upload because it's such a long video. But I'm really excited about it this week because we've got Professor Broman returning. This is his second time on the podcast. And I really enjoyed meeting him the first time he was on. A lot of you guys will know him from when he was on Destiny's or Bungie's stream of the reveal for Prison of Elders, or of course more recently for being one of the world's first for King's Fall. He was on that world's first team with his brother T-Rex and with King Goliathon and 3 other guys who I can't remember the name of right now. So I'm really looking forward to talking to him. I'm sure we'll be talking a ton about the hard mode raid. I was actually really impressed with him the first time I met him. He's a really smart guy. You know, I don't know if that comes off if you just watch 10 minutes of his stream, but he's really informed about Destiny. He clearly thinks about it a lot. He's a really funny guy, and he's a really nice guy. He's just a cool guy to be around. So I'm looking forward to talking to him again. And like I said, that podcast should be available on Friday on iTunes and on YouTube. So I know I went over a lot today, kind of rambled on. Definitely looking forward to hard mode tomorrow. Not sure what the changes are going to be, but we're going to stream it on the Planet Destiny Twitch page anyway. That's going to be really fun, going for another world's first. Well, going for a world's first again, or trying again for a world's first, I think is the best way to put that. Shard it or keep it is still around. It's still a thing. I'm not getting rid of it. It's still coming back. And Broman on the podcast tonight. I'm really looking forward to that. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys next time.